Hello guys, welcome to Open Techno. Today a new mobile is passing through the channel, a new RootJet phone from the CUBOT brand. It's the KingKong 10 Pro 5G, a phone that is going to come to offer everything we have already known before in other videos of the RootJet phones. But in addition, it will have very particular features such as, for example, this screen that we find on the back of the device. So let's see it in full in this video. Well, let's start with the aesthetic section of this CUBOT KingKong 10 Pro, an aesthetic section marked by the 6.72-inch screen, which we will talk about later, and it offers a weight of 392 grams. Project phone, a phone available in a single color, black with some details as seen in the video, in a metal. Well, I don't know whether to say ochre or leaning towards brown, like these parts here. Of the back, the screen frame, and also some details like the buttons on the sides. For those who haven't seen RootJet phones videos on this channel, know that a RootJet phone, in the end, it's a phone made to withstand blows, to withstand very harsh conditions that traditional phones are not prepared for. In this case, we have all corners reinforced, as these are the impact areas where, when our phone falls, they first take a hit. Additionally, the screen is also protected in such a way that if we place it on a flat surface, the screen will not come into contact with it. And the back part, well, the same, it comes quite reinforced with this metallic part. This phone will endure impacts, water, temperature, dust, everything you want in the end. It comes super well sealed. We have the entrances sealed both for the subscriber identity module card and the charger at the bottom, which has a USB type 133W. As for the subscriber identity module card, we have a slot in which we can insert either two subscriber identity module cards to have two phone numbers. Or we can also insert a subscriber identity module and a memory card of up to 1 terabyte of storage. Then, for buttons, we have volume, up and down with the unlock button, which will also be a fingerprint sensor. And we have a configurable button, which for example I have set. With one touch, the back screen lights up, with two the flashlight, and you can completely configure it to your liking. On the back, we have 4 cameras, well, actually 3, and the flash, and then we have this curious screen here that is going to serve us. Well, to see the time, to see the battery we have, the steps we have taken with the phone during today. In addition, this screen is customizable, we can change it, we have several faces that we can completely set to our liking. And then we would have things like, for example, a compass. The possibility to open the camera here if we take a selfie, do it with the rear camera, the good camera, and the possibility to control music directly from here. Well, for example, in case we are at the gym or we want to do it from here in a quick way without picking up the phone, we have it on the table, well, we could do it from here. When I told you that we had a fingerprint, to also tell you that it works very fast, very well. But to increase that speed, to give more dynamism when unlocking the device, we have facial recognition unlocking. The truth is that it also works extremely well and very quickly. Now let's go with the screen. A screen of 6.72 inches with a full high definition resolution, specifically 2400 by 1080 pixels that we have. Well, that quite landscape format, which is already common in all mobiles. We have up to 144 Hz, and I say, we have up to, because by default it is configured in the settings at 60 Hz. However, will we have to be the ones to set it to 90 to 144 or put it on automatic, so that the operating system manages it in the way it deems most convenient, to also not harm the battery too much. We have a MediaTek Dimensity 8200 octa-core processor which has 8 cores. 4 of them operate around 3 GHz, another 4 around 2 GHz. To have higher or lower performance depending on the tasks we are doing. Also balance battery consumption as I mentioned. It's a processor that works well. I've used it for quite basic tasks. I've even put some games on it, as I always tend to do. In this case it was Clash Royale. It works well, it performs well. It's not a processor made for gaming, it's not a high-end processor, but it performs super well with those basic games, as I mentioned. And then browsing in the things that are traditional, such as social networks, web browsing, watching videos on YouTube, or using social networks, Twitter, Instagram, and so on. Does it work well enough for all of this? It comes with 2 configuration possibilities. We have 12 plus 12 gigabytes of RAM plus 256 of storage, or would we have up to 48 gigabytes of RAM if we want? What is that about 12 plus 12 or 24 plus 24? We'll have the option of 12 or 24 gigabytes of RAM, which will use an additional 12 or 24 gigabytes, based on the device's storage, which we could use as RAM to increase that capacity to have applications open in the background. To me, it's an option that I don't like lately, especially because with 12 gigabytes of RAM, we already have more than enough. But hey, if you are very demanding users, then you have that possibility, you activate it, and from that moment, the phone would start using 24 gigabytes of RAM. I prefer using the internal RAM as it will be much faster. Camera. We have a 100 megapixel camera on the back, 32 for taking selfies, and 5 in the form of a macro camera. The photos look good, especially in good lighting. The 100 megapixel camera captures high resolution images. When we have good light conditions, you will see that we get good results. Indoors, the video quality is good, but not the best on the market. It's a decent but not outstanding feature. It's a camera. Well, to give it a 5.1 approved is perfectly fine, but also nothing out of this world. Overall, it's a very balanced phone. By the way, speaking of balance, I forgot to mention that in the multimedia section, the screen has a very good quality of colors. Resolution, it looks super good. The response to touch is excellent, with high refresh rates up to 144 Hz. But it is true that I find a flaw that comes from the speaker. We have a single speaker at the bottom, which would give us mono sound. I would have liked, since this device would have had a stereo speaker for when we watch a YouTube video, to have that feeling of higher quality. Then a 10,200 mAh battery. It's going to last us about a week. In standby, it's going to last us up to 3 days of more or less intense use of watching videos and so on. In short, a battery to last, to take us on a trip, to take us to the mountain and not run out. The connectivity, the possibilities of being with the mobile, of taking photos, well, that's always one of the strong points of the ROG Phones, and this one couldn't be less. It is true that the charge is not especially fast. 33W. It's average, so it might take us around 2.5 to 3 hours to fully charge. Then, when it comes to connectivity, which is crucial for these phones, it comes very well equipped with Global Positioning System GLONASS, Galileo and Beidou, so that we can have global positioning system connectivity anywhere in the world, whether we go to the mountains or start doing any kind of route. Good connectivity, not only in terms of location, but also mobile networks. As I mentioned earlier, the input provided is not a metric system unit. Please provide a valid metric system unit such as kilometers, meters, grams, etc. The latest mobile network connectivity. And we also have Wi-Fi 6, the good standard. Well, right now the most common Wi-Fi, the one that is being used everywhere, which has speeds of up to 2.4 gigabits per second, if I'm not mistaken. I tell you from memory, but the speeds were around those 2.4 gigabits per second approximately. We also have Bluetooth 5.3 to connect all our accessories, those smartwatches we might have, sports bands, any kind of things will connect via Bluetooth 5.3 with very low battery consumption and other features. We have, of course, near-field communication to pay with the mobile itself, and we have Android 14, the latest version of Android, with a very slightly intrusive customization layer. The truth is that it's a very comfortable layer that works very fast. And I would practically say that we have native Android because we don't have big differences either. And that's for sure a very good point. It doesn't come with absolutely any installed application, which as we take the phone, let's say go, we're going to uninstall. This comes super clean so that we specifically install what we want. You may be wondering about the cost of this phone, despite its impressive features, battery life, durability, and screen quality. Well, the current price is around 300 euros. However, as I've been telling you in all these videos during this month, you may find deals on certain pages. With Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and AliExpress's November 11 sale already over. But in the end, you can find deals where you get it much cheaper, but get the idea of around 300 euros. Now, if you ask me, what do I think of this phone? Well, I think it's priced correctly. Around the remains of rootjet phones that we've seen on the channel, CUBOT is a long-standing brand known for delivering excellent results and performance. And for me, well, a choice to consider. Of course, choices are never easy. In its price range, the CUBOT is highly recommendable. Now, I'd like to know your opinion, guys. I want to know in the comments, what do you think of this CUBOT KingKong 10 Pro? Would you buy it? Are you thinking of buying a rootjet phone? And what do you think of this device? If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. See you next time. Goodbye.